You don't need your packets or anything. I just have a couple questions here for you. A little review of, have your calculator though, because you're going to need to crunch some numbers for me here. A little review of where we've been so far in this unit. First one, graph 225 and find its reference angle, all right? So I ask you to graph 225. Where is one side of this angle always going? Okay, here we go. Number 19. Where's one side of this angle always going? Do I have a 19? This is an angle right here, right? Where's one side of it going? Here, 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 here. Anything. I'm just looking for something. Remember, all the videos are on YouTube. Here we go. One side's going here. Where's 225 degrees? Here we go. 8. Where's 225 degrees? Quadrant 3. Here's 180. Here's 270. Probably going to be closer to... Actually, I think this one's right down the middle. Halfway in between. All right, what's one thing it's missing? Here we go. One thing it's missing. 9. What's it missing? 11. What's it missing? We good? I'm gonna be on people. I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. All right, can't watch this anymore. Now watching 79 class averages go across the board. All right, find a reference angle now. Reference angle. Do you see the reference angle up here? 6. Do we see the reference angle? Formed by the terminal side in which axis? The x-axis. Here's my reference angle. Can you find what it is? Remember, this was 225. Okay, 220, what are you doing here? 225? You're taking that 225 and doing what with the 180? Subtracting it and getting what's in between, and that's a 45-degree angle. Everyone all right there? Okay, I'm going to keep moving. Name a positive angle that's coterminal. One positive, one negative angle that's coterminal of negative 150. So if I have negative 150, name another angle that looks just like negative 150. That's what I'm asking for. Name another angle that looks just like negative 150, and I need one positive and one negative one. 9, what can I do to negative 150? 13, what can I do to negative 150 to find one of them? Adding 180 only goes halfway, though. Add 360 to it. Negative 50 plus 360 gives me what? Okay, so there's my positive angle. Could somebody get me a negative angle now? Another negative angle. That's the same angle as negative 150. 16. Four. How do you get in that? There we go. Okay, that was day 1. Day 2, got your formula sheet out in front of you, please. If not, look on with somebody in your group. Okay, everybody see, I'm starting with convert 5 pi over 4. What do we call this right here? When I have pi in there, that's our new unit called what? Called radians, all right? Called radians. Everyone look on your formula sheet right now. Look where it says radians to the left equals degrees to the right. Radians to the left, degrees to the right. It tells you what you should be multiplying that 5 pi over 4 by. Everyone see it on their formula sheet. Radians equals this degrees. What should I be multiplying the radians by to turn it into degrees? Okay, here we go. 9. What should I multiply it by? Here you go. 2. What should I multiply it by? 180 over pi. Doing so eliminates the pi's, and that's why I ask your calculators out now. How many degrees now? 5 times 180 divided by 4. Pi's simplify out. 20. 225 degrees. 5 pi over. Go in reverse. Look on your formula sheet again. Everyone see where it says now degrees to radians. Degrees to radians. You all see that? So what should I be multiplying 210 by negative 210 by now? 12. What's the conversion? Pi over 180. You leave the pi in your answer, and you reduce negative 210 over 180. Put it in a fraction template. Four, what do we end up with? Negative over what? Didn't we show you this last week? Yeah. Fraction template, negative 210 over 180. Just reducing your fraction. Seven over negative 7 over 6 pi. Yes, no? All good? Questions there? All right, I'm not going to ask anybody this question, but if you do remember, anybody remember what 360 degrees was equal to? How many radians? Pi? About 6.23, whatever, 6 and change. All right, cut that in half. What's 180? Keep cutting it in half. What's 90? Pi over 2 or half pi. Okay, what about 270? What do you think? Halfway in between these two here. 1.5 pi. You're correct. We write it as 3 pi over 2, 1.5. Okay. Just want you to be familiar with those three right there. All right, go back to the end of your notes here before I let you go on your own. Go back to your end of the notes from the other day. We ended off on part B, right? 6B. Correct? 6B. Okay. Coterminal. Give me a positive and a negative angle. We just did this with degrees. All right, we just did this with degrees. Now I want to do it with radians. Going back, what did you guys have me do to find the coterminal angles? You added and subtracted what to get the coterminal angles? 20, what did you add and subtract? 360. Okay, well, I'm in radians now for this problem. So I don't want to add and subtract 360. What's the radian version of 360? 17. 360 degrees is equal to what? 20. 360 degrees then equal to what in radians? Nope. What's it equal to in radians? 360. So instead of subtracting and adding 360, I want to subtract and add 2 pi now, all right, because it's in radians. So 4 pi plus 2 pi So what's my first positive angle there? 19. What's my first positive angle? 6 pi. How can I find the negative angle now? I got the positive 6 pi. How can I find the negative version now? 1. Okay, when I do subtract 2 pi, something's going to happen though. What happens? Still positive, so what can I keep doing? Keep subtracting 2 pi. Oh, what happens again? 0 degrees. Oh, keep going, right? 0 minus 2 pi, I finally end up with negative 2 pi. So here's my negative answer. Here's my positive answer. So all I'm doing, instead of adding 360 degrees, because I'm in radians, instead of 360, I did 2 pi instead. Yep.
I like graph. It's like it's equal to 0 right there. Is that just when it's on the line or something?
What do we, anybody remember what we called those when they're on the line? We went through it pretty quickly, but quadrantal angle. Yep, when it's on the line. All right, sketch the angle now. And then, well, first of all, forget its reference angle. Let's try to sketch negative 5 pi over 6. You guys would have no idea how to sketch something like that. But you do know how, most of us anyway, know how to sketch it if it's in what? Degrees, right? You know how to sketch it if it's in degrees. Well, suggestion then for me? Take negative 5 pi over 6 and do what? Turn it into degrees. Yep, turn it into degrees. Negative 5 pi over 6. Look on your reference sheet. What do you multiply that by to turn it into degrees? 12. What do I have to multiply that by? 180 over pi. Pi's go. What is negative 5 pi over 6 in degrees as you multiply all that through? 19 in degrees. Negative 150. All right, can we graph negative 150? Initial side on the x-axis as usual. What quadrant does negative? Negative now, you're going in the opposite direction. Negative 150, what quadrant does that fall in? Here you go, 8, what quadrant?
3.
Quadrant 3. Because that's negative 90 and that's negative 180. Make sure it's closer to 180. Got the arrow going around, 150. So we're all good on the diagram. Now find its reference angle. What is that angle measure right there? Could you find it at all? 4, could you find it? 30 degrees, nice job. Unfortunately though, what does the direction say? Leave your final answer, radians. So I'm gonna have to take 30, go back to your formula sheet, and multiply it by, what do I have to multiply it by to get it back into radians? 14, what do I have to multiply it by? Okay. How about 19? What do I have to multiply it by according to your formula sheet? All right. Pi stays right where it is. It does not go into your calculator. So all I need to do now is reduce 30 over 180. $15 when you're ready. Pi over 6 is the reference angle. Okay. And there will come a time soon this week that I'm not going to have you convert it. You'll know right away where to put it. Right, but not right now. Okay, I'm going to save part B for review tomorrow. Everyone sees the bottom of the page right there out of the book. Okay, that is the assignment I'm going to collect from each group. Right, you head over there to the group in the corner. All right, that's the assignment I'm going to. Okay.
So we each do this paper, and then you just pick a random one at the end.
Everyone does the assignment. I'm picking a random one at the end. Yep. Which could be yours.